The Second Amendment wasn't an issue when children were being unalived, but yet now that an agency of this government has unalived an individual exercising that Second Amendment right, now all of a sudden they're criticizing the Second Amendment. That seems kind of odd, doesn't it? But then again, I'm still trying to figure out that if ICE is trying to target and capture the worst of the worst, why is it that it's ICE agents unaliving individuals on mass scale right now? Because we're seeing more people unalived by ICE agents than the criminals they are supposedly targeting and trying to deport out of our country because they're worried about our safety as U.S. citizens. So again, I'm just trying to understand, why is it that the Second Amendment was okay and didn't need to be tampered with when children were being unalived in schools? But now that your agency has decided to unalive yet a second person within just a couple of weeks that was posing no harm to you. He didn't have his weapon drawn. He had a carried permit and he was recording. But because he was recording the actions, somehow these agencies decided that they had the right to unalive another person. And yet, what are you going to do? Blame the victim, which is the MO of everything. When it came to the files, all of these women were the fault. When it came to Miss Good being unalived, it was her fault, that she was somehow a domestic something. We are watching the impunity of this tyranny and dictatorship tear the United States apart. This is no longer the United States because you have 9 states that are being targeted by the rest of the country because we are standing up against what we do not appreciate. We did not vote for this. We are a democracy and yet being treated like as if this is a dictatorship. My stuff is suppressed, but if you like this, share it. Make more people realize because they can't keep us silent forever.
Anne Frank was a domestic terrorist because based on this administration's views on Antifa, she was a part of Antifa, which means that she was a domestic terrorist, which means that Germany was somehow justified in unaliving her parents for keeping Anne Frank hidden for 2 years, which means that, technically speaking, Anne Frank's diary is propaganda. It's Antifa, has to be banned from the libraries and schools of the United States. Do you agree?
If these were targeted cases searching for the worst of the worst, then why are U.S. citizens the ones being unalived on the streets of the United States right now? Because the whole agency's purpose was to bring safety to U.S. citizens as they're capturing and deporting undocumented immigrants out of the country, but yet we're not seeing a lot of undocumented immigrants causing these fatalities. However, we are seeing a masked agency that doesn't even have warrants or probable cause or due process unaliving U.S. citizens. And before you say something about the Second Amendment was so fine in its place without being touched or even infringed upon when children were being unalived on our doorsteps of our schools for years already. But yet now all of a sudden, the Second Amendment is an issue because one of the people that your agency unlawfully unalived was in possession of a firearm, even though that was their Second Amendment right to be able to bear arms, which you had no problem when little Timmy, Todd, and Tucker were being unalived in a school or a church. So how is that possible? And how is it that the rest of you aren't writhing with anger right now as we're watching our democracy be attacked? And the worst part of it all is while there are people protesting in negative 20 degrees in Minnesota right now, our elected officials that are supposed to be fighting for us are sitting in warm bedrooms or houses in the capital city, but not doing anything for us. So before you elect these people back into office, remember what they were doing today when those people were protesting on behalf of you and me.